Really? Hey guys, my name is Sierra. I'm currently a nursing student and I have been documenting my experience and sharing my journey with you guys, and I'm so excited to share more. Today I wanted to sit down and chit chat with you guys about how to study in nursing school. I've gotten a lot of comments and questions about this, and I totally get that and understand, because studying in nursing school is something else, I'll tell you that. And fortunately for myself, I had my brother as a resource because he was a nursing student before me, and I really leaned on him for any questions that I had, for help and advice, and I just had him as a crutch. So I'm hoping I can kind of be that for you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to comment them down below and ask me. Let's just jump right into the video. I have my notebook here, so you know it's serious. I actually wrote down everything that I think will be useful and helpful and how to study as a nursing student, because I know it can be super overwhelming. Trust me, I know. First of all, if you're watching this, hi, congratulations. You're clearly in nursing school, or you're interested in nursing school, applying for nursing schools. So that's freaking awesome. Good job. Congratulations if you are in school right now. I do want to preface this that I am only halfway completed with my nursing school program. So this is my advice up until this point. I'm sure it may be changing later on when I get closer to taking the NCLEX, but this is what has worked for me. I have taken pharmacology, pathophysiology, and parts of my chronic illness and acute illness class, as well as fundamentals of nursing. So I've taken a lot of classes already. Our last year is a bit more mellow, if you want to say that, where we focus more on clinical, from what I understand. So I've done a lot of my didactic work, and I hope I can offer you some good advice. If you guys are interested in videos that are a bit more in depth for each class, like a pharmacology studying video and like a pathophysiology studying video, please let me know, because I'm happy to do that too. This is kind of just going to be a broad overview for all of your classes and what's worked for me. Studying at nursing school is much different than maybe anything you've ever experienced before. It obviously depends on your background and if you have other degrees and have been in other programs. But for me personally, all I had taken was prerequisite courses at a local college and some other classes that aren't used towards my nursing degree. They were just various classes I took in college. So, you know, I had my own studying routine in my anatomy and physiology, in my English class, in my math class, and then once I entered nursing school, that routine went out the window. It's a whole different ball game, and I feel like 90% of people would agree with me on that, or even more, because what has worked for you in the past most likely is not going to work for you in nursing school, because it's so different entirely. It's a program, and your ultimate goal is obviously to become a phenomenal nurse and have a beautiful career, but you need to pass nursing school, which hopefully this video helps with that, and you really need to pass the NCLEX, which is what nursing school is getting you prepared for, is passing this national exam. And this national exam is a lot different than any exams you've probably taken prior in any of your college classes. Right off the bat, you want to make time on your side. Time management is so important, because nursing school is chaotic, and then you also have your life and personal things. If you're working part-time or full-time, if you have a family and children, even animals, they're like little children too. I mean, you have your life, you have your nursing school life, and you have a lot going on. So you want to make time on your side and really take advantage of all of your free moments, all of your downtime. And when I say that, I mean, obviously it's so important to take care of yourself and your health and all of that, but a lot of your time is going to be dedicated to school and studying. Studying is also going to depend on your course load and what's going on in each semester. For example, in the beginning of my nursing school experience, I was only in one class, which was Fundamentals of Nursing. I say one class like, oh, easy. Yeah, it wasn't easy, that's for sure. But there was only one class to really focus on, so I only had one class to worry about, you know, quizzes and exams and etc., things like that. Whereas later on in my nursing school year, I was taking 3 classes. I was taking pathophysiology, pharmacology, and like chronic illness. And that was a lot more going on, and trying to navigate how to stay on top of each of those classes. Not to mention, you also have clinicals going on. So in each class you have obviously your homework, quizzes, exams, potentially group projects, and then you have clinical rotations where you're learning skills, and then you might have clinical assignments aside from that. So it's a lot, but it is totally manageable and doable, and you got this, I promise. That's why the first thing you need to do is make sure that you have a planner, whether that be like a notebook in your phone, on your computer, your iPad, just something to get organized when you get your syllabus for each class. It's just so important. You need to create good habits initially, I think, to succeed, truthfully. I would say that you need to carve out time each day for studying. Obviously, take a break on a Saturday or Sunday if you're going on a trip or you have like a family get together. But I think it's really important to take a little bit of time out of your day each day rather than just dedicating one full day to studying. At least this is from my experience. Again, this is totally subjective to me, but I just find that I can retain information better because cramming doesn't work in nursing school. It's not gonna work. You are going to have a meltdown. I'm telling you that right now. Like, it is just not going to work for you. It might have worked before in the past. I was definitely able to cram in most of my college classes, but you just can't do that in nursing school, and nor should you really want to, because this is going to be your career and you really want to obtain as much information and get as much as you can out of this program because you're paying for it. You want to be here, and don't you want to be like the best, most knowledgeable nurse that you can be when you're caring for patients and like you have people's lives at your hand? So yeah, don't cram, basically, is the moral of the story. At the beginning of school, you're definitely gonna feel overwhelmed, but initially, that's okay because you're just going to figure out what works for you. You're gonna navigate what studying methods do and don't work, and that's gonna be by trial and error. That could be you studying for a quiz and not doing well on that quiz, and then knowing, okay, whatever I did not work. I was not prepared for that. I'm gonna try something different. That could mean studying alone or in groups. Everybody is totally different. I personally, I know my brother was like this. I was talking to a friend that just got into a nursing program too. I prefer to study alone. I wish I could like learn in a group setting, but I really just, it doesn't work for me. I just feel like my time is better spent studying alone, but everybody is totally different. And that's why you have to kind of cultivate your studying methods and make it your own. One thing that I definitely want to mention is I just had this conversation with my brother, but we had an old anatomy and physiology teacher discuss this. This was a couple years ago, and it was relating like studying and retaining information and like succeeding in school with exercise. And I have it on my phone. I want to read this to you guys. This is a study from University College of London. It says, when you do any type of intense physical activity, it causes blood flow to the brain. This in turn fires up your neurons and promotes cell growth, particularly in the hippocampus. This means that just 20 minutes of exercise before studying can improve your concentration and help you focus your learning. So there's more studies related to that. Maybe going on a walk or doing some sort of physical activity before you're gonna sit down, hunker down and study for a period of time could be really productive. I feel like it is completely true. You just feel better after you exercise or do any form of like physical activity. You get the blood flowing, you feel better, you do. You can't argue me on that. If you can exercise a little bit before you sit down and study, there's no reason not to try it out. That being said, it's really important to have really nice study space and area. As much as I say this, I mean, I do study in my bed, but truthfully, I'm way more productive and focused when I am not in my bed or in my bedroom. If you have like a desk somewhere else, like a quiet, organized place, if you need to go to a coffee shop, anywhere where you can really feel like you can focus and there's not a bunch of chaos going on, that's obviously really important too. A big thing that I feel like happens in nursing school specifically, but this is probably across the board, especially with everything that's kind of going on right now and all of the uncertainty, is you're going to be doing a lot of self-teaching. You have your instructors and you're taking these classes and you're learning from them, but the truth of it is there's so much information that you have to learn, and you're not always going to understand everything your lecture teacher is telling you. You're going to have times where you're going to have to teach yourself a topic, dissect it, and it may take a period of time for you to fully grasp it, but that's just like the nature of the game. Like, your class is moving on and moving forward, and you don't want to fall behind, because I truly feel like they all build on top of each other. So, you know, you took your anatomy and physiology, and then in nursing school you take pathophysiology, but you're already expected to know the basics in A and P, and it just keeps building. So you don't want to get behind on a topic and not understand something when then it's going to get more complex and then you're really confused. So you're going to have to learn stuff on your own, and I have a bunch of resources that I'm going to tell you guys in a minute. Again, like I said, this really is subjective to your course load and like how many classes you're taking, but right off the bat, reading. You're going to get a lot of reading assignments. You also probably have a hell of a lot of textbooks that you purchased. How many do I have? I think there's like 15 or something. This gets sticky. Everybody's different, but there were periods of time when we were assigned potentially like 15 to 20 chapters in reading in a week between all of my classes, which just was not doable for me personally. I know there's people that literally read every chapter, every word on the page, and it actually is conductive to their learning. But for me and a lot of people that I've spoken to, that was not the way to go for us. And when I say that, I don't mean don't read. You're thrown a lot of information that you're supposed to know, and you have this limited amount of time. So you really need to figure out if sitting and reading chapters over and over implements the information in your head. Now, again, I'm not saying don't read. There are topics that you need to read and then read again and then watch a video on them and then answer some questions, for sure, definitely. But you might not have the opportunity to read all of the chapters that are assigned to you because you don't have enough time. And that is completely normal. Don't feel alone in that. And also don't necessarily think that that is a bad thing, because I could sit and read all of the chapters that are assigned to me in nursing school, and you could ask me a question and I probably won't be able to answer it just by reading information. Like, am I actually retaining it when I sit there and read for 3 hours? Me? No. You? Maybe yes, but that's why it's so important to figure out what works for you. However, I will say that if there is any book I will read from cover to back, literally multiple times, every single word on the page, it is the Saunders NCLEX preparation book. I have talked about it probably in every one of my videos. I should be a spokeswoman for them, but literally it is the best book ever. Let me go grab it so you can see it. I got this off of Amazon. I think it was around $50. You get an access code with it, and you have access to a bunch of questions, and I'm gonna go more into that in a minute. This book is amazing. It has basically everything you need to know condensed into one textbook, straight to the point, and it's super easy to navigate. There's practice questions at the end of each chapter. I cannot recommend this book enough. This is the holy grail of nursing school, seriously. Now I want to go into some more resources and websites that I've used that I feel like have really helped me. Everything will be linked down below. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to comment them. Truthfully, the way that I was able to learn information and hopefully keep it up there in my head permanently was from watching videos and listening to audio. That's just the truth. That is what worked for me, and I'm just being real with you guys. So what I mean is obviously videos that you can find anywhere, especially YouTube, videos that are supplied with your textbooks, explaining things, videos of lecture classes from other schools and other programs teaching the same concept. I recently found this podcast. What is it called? I'm gonna tell you guys about it. I've been doing more research recently regarding the NCLEX because technically speaking, I'm going to be taking it in 9 months, and I'm just trying to get ahead on it. And I discovered this podcast. It's called NCLEX High Yield. And again, like I said, everything will be linked down below, but I love it. I love podcasts. I feel like everybody loves podcasts. They're amazing because, like I said earlier, time management, time on your side. It's so important to utilize all the time that you have. So I will listen to this podcast when I'm getting ready in the morning. I will listen to it at the gym. I will listen to it when I'm driving because I have to drive a ways to get to my school and our clinical rotations. So I can just put it on in the car. And I'm knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone. You know, I'm taking care of a task that I need to complete, and I'm listening to something that's conducive to my learning. So that is a new one. I usually watch videos, but podcasts have been a game changer for me. That podcast is really cool. There's also more of his information on like his Instagram and his websites, but right off the bat, he got my attention because he has a video explaining RH positive and RH negative factor, which has been something that like I could not wrap my head around. I don't know why it felt so complicated in school. You even learn about it in A&P, and then we briefly discussed it in nursing school, and I still never felt like I completely understood it. And he talks about it for like 7 minutes, makes it so simple for you to understand, and then you understand it. There's no confusion anymore. There are truly people who are gifted at teaching and making something that objectively can seem so complicated really easy to understand. So I recommend his podcast. There's a lot of other podcasts out there for nursing school. Look into them and see which ones grasp your attention and help you learn information better. I want to talk about a couple of YouTube channels that help me a lot. I watch these when I'm on the stairs at the gym. It's just so easy to put these on. A lot of them are just like short 8-minute videos that get straight to the point. But I really like Simple Nursing, Registered Nurse RN, and then Level Up RN. They're great. And there's also another one. I don't know how his name is pronounced. It's like Wise Sci, WYZSCI. It's going to be linked too. But he is a college instructor, and basically somebody in my clinical group found him on YouTube because he lectures from the same pathophysiology textbook that we were assigned. And so we were learning patho from our teacher, obviously, but then we would go and listen to his lectures on the chapters that we were covering, and he was going straight through the book. You could follow him along, and I really enjoyed listening to his videos. So he will be linked down below. He has a lot of other classes that he teaches other than pathophysiology, but there's a pathophysiology playlist you can find on his YouTube channel. And then also I want to mention Picmonic. I've recently started using that website. You get access to a bunch of great videos, quizzes, images, audio, things that are really helpful in helping you retain information in a creative way, because ultimately there are things you just have to know, and how you learn them, like if you learn them through a mnemonic or a silly way in your head, it's totally irrelevant as long as you know them and you can understand the topic. So Picmonic is super helpful with that. If you guys are interested in them, they'll be linked down below too. And if you use my link, you'll get a 20% off. You can subscribe for a monthly membership, a yearly membership, whatever you want. You can take a look at that. And next, I'm going to give you my biggest tip for studying in nursing school. Are you ready? It is practicing NCLEX-style questions. Like I said at the beginning of the video, your ultimate goal, besides of course becoming a nurse and passing nursing school, is getting your license. And that's the NCLEX. And Why studying in nursing school is so different is because the NCLEX is so different, and the biggest way to help prepare for that is to practice NCLEX-style questions, because they're like nothing you've ever seen before. I mean, they're like nothing I had ever seen before. They're complicated, okay? You get a lot of information in a question, a lot of information that is maybe helpful to the answer, and a lot of it is just information that you can kind of ignore, but you have to be able to decipher what is what, and then you're going to have a beautiful choice of answers because they all are probably right, but your job is to pick the most right. And then if you don't think that that is that difficult, then you get to select all that apply. So you get a question and then you have to select all that apply, and it's not out of 5, it could be out of 10 that you have to choose from, and it could actually be just 1 or it could be all 10. So the more that you practice these types of questions and familiarize yourself with them, the easier they get. 100,000% the easier they get. And at least in my program, I feel like a lot of our exams are kind of preparing you for the NCLEX, so the questions are, you know, somewhat similar. And then towards the end of our nursing program, we have to take something called a HESI. I know other schools do ATIs, and those are exams that really help you prepare for the NCLEX as well, with, you know, similar types of questions. So what I'm trying to say here is practicing NCLEX-style questions is going to help you so much, because if you're using a proper resource, you'll get the question, you'll get a bunch of different options, and then you'll get a rationale behind the question. It's going to tell you why this is right or wrong. And so ultimately, you could be learning 5 different topics in one question if you really take all that you can from it. And I just feel like that is what has really helped me be successful in school. And I could go ask anybody in my class, and I promise you, they would say the exact same thing that I'm saying, that practicing NCLEX-style questions is really what's going to help you on your exams and help you study and learn information, as long as you're practicing the right types of questions. There are so many resources online, and you know what? Again, utilize everything that you can. If you're in clinicals and you're working with other nurses, ask them, pick their brain, ask them what resources they used, what they would recommend, how they studied, because they did it. They are successful. They are at a point that we're all hoping to, not hoping, they're at a point that we're all going to be at very, very soon. So utilize them, utilize your instructors, ask your peers that are doing well. Don't compare yourself to them, because everybody is different, and it's really up to you to navigate what works best for you, because everybody is different. But with that being said, I do want to give you a couple of resources that I've used for NCLEX-style questions. Shout out to my brother for helping me with this as well. But when you buy this textbook, you get an access code, and then you get access to a bunch of online quizzes, exams, NCLEX-style with the rationales, which I talked about. They're amazing. You can get an app on your phone, so that when you're not on your computer, if you're standing in line at the grocery store or waiting at an appointment in the lobby or something like that, you can quickly do 10 on your phone. Again, time management and really taking advantage of all the time you have to help with your learning. That would be my #1 recommendation, would be Saunders for sure. Your Best Grade, my brother showed me this one, and this is a popular site. You do have to pay a fee for it, and it helps you prepare for your HESIs. So those are exams that we take at the end of, I don't know, not each term, but we're taking to help prepare for the NCLEX. Every school is going to be different on what recommended resources they have to prepare for it. So make sure to ask the nursing faculty, Google, do some research. There's so much out there. I also like Quizlet. I will say that there's questions on Quizlets that I've seen before on my nursing exams, but Quizlet, you just have to be, you know, really careful, because anybody can make a Quizlet and the information isn't always accurate and true. So it's really up to you to determine which Quizlets to use. But you've made it to this point, so I know you're capable of doing that. You're very, very smart. And all of these should have various styled questions too. So the multiple choice, the select all that apply, the fun ones, matching where you have to drag, and then prioritization questions, priority 1 through 10, things like that. The last thing I want to talk about is note taking. That is something else that works for me. I am a girl that likes to handwrite things. Typing on the computer it's just not the same for me. But again, everybody is different. What I'm saying is that if there is a topic that I'm really struggling to understand and I know I need to get it and grasp it very, very quickly, the best way that I can do that is to watch a video where I am listening, watching, and taking notes on it. I'm using my senses to really help understand that information. I tend to do it kind of slowly. Like if I really don't understand a topic, I will rewatch that video like 8 times if I have to, or stop it and play it until I get it and I'm writing it down. And if there's a word I don't understand, I Google it before I play the video and continue on with it. I really feel like that has helped me a lot with understanding things. So watching something, listening to it, and then taking notes on it. I know this video is long and I'm wrapping it up, but on a side note, I do want to mention to you that there is a such thing as mental fatigue, meaning you can definitely overstudy and it will not work in your favor, because there's a certain point where your brain, it just feels like it shuts off. I've definitely had that happen when I'm staying up really late the night before an exam or waking up really early to go over things. And then when it comes to the exam, I'm like, I can't even read the words on the paper because I'm just so exhausted from practicing questions and reading things, that when I get my grade back and then I go and look over the questions that I missed on the exam, I'm like, are you kidding me? I knew the answer to that. I knew that. I just didn't read the question correctly. It's one of those moments where you realize how important it is to go into an exam day or a quiz day or anything with a clear mind, calm, collected, be energized, but don't overdo it. You either know the information or you don't, and that's entirely up to you. Just want to remind you to always take it day by day, moment by moment. Obviously, look ahead and understand the overview of everything that needs to be completed and turned in, but take it week by week. Learn the information week by week. Try your best to stay calm and not get overwhelmed, because you can do this. You got this. You are not alone. I'm right here with you. There are so many of us right now pooping our pants because we're in nursing school and we're like, what the heck? How do I even tackle this? How do I do this? You got this. You will succeed. You will be successful. It's going to be a great time, I promise you, and just remember, you are not alone. So that is what I have for you guys today. I hope this video was insightful. You learned something. I really hope so. Fingers crossed. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all of your love and support and your kind words. There's almost 4,000 of you guys subscribed to my channel, which is crazy. That is so crazy. So honestly, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It really means a lot. Hope you guys are having a great day or evening or morning, whatever time it is, wherever you are. And I will see you guys again very, very soon. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And again, thank you guys so, so much. Bye. My nugget says bye. Look at how big he is. I miss it when he was so little. I don't know what happened. What happened to you? You guys, look at this little face. It's just the cutest.